spottings. But it seems like when they're faced with some real competition in the form of Runaway or Element Mystic, in this case, is sort of falling apart. So now, Gen.G, they need to prove their mental fortitude, because obviously, when you get into half-time and you're 2-0 down, that's when you really need to count on the expertise of your coaches and your backroom staff to sort of rally you all together and to keep you in a winning mindset. The same thing will be done for Element Mystic. Evidently, is it Emily, one of their managers, going to be trying to keep them in that winner's mindset where you are 2-0 up, but you are never going to underestimate your opponent. You're always going to be in that mindset where you are trying to keep control of the game. Gen.G here going to try and take control with a Winston 3-3. Overon's going to be on that player. Like, Dance in the back.
You're rather sneaky. As soon as they push in, Bio Grenade can win the fight. Get a lot of ult charge for that as well, but you got to watch out.
Doha may find him.
Yeah, Doha's just going to scout him out completely. Sleep Dart now missed. Dance in a lot of trouble. Forced to use the nade in that situation. Now he's going to get rounded about on speed boost into him. He's going to be able to live to tell the tale as he does get speed boost out himself, but now Element Mystic have a nice position on this high ground.
Oh, there is a big boop though. That is going to isolate Takayaki, who has been subbed in instead of Alpha.
Yeah, he's coming in, but the Bio Grenade does land on Habin, so that does really stop the fight from happening, really. Like, one Bio Grenade and one target, that's like, no, we don't want to go here. We don't want to expend a Xayah bubble in order to cleanse it, so we're going to have to wait just a moment.
Overon ready to try and get a little bit of cleave here. If he's hacked by Doha, he could be an incredibly vulnerable target, of course, because he can be instantly dropped upon. He's going to try and get that cleave now. Will be Takayaki receiving the Xayah bubble, and once again, Mystic going to try and take control of this high ground so that Sparkle can start laying down some long-range fire into these airborne targets.
Look at this though, 99% now for Doha has got the EMP. It gets laid out. 5 people gonna get inflicted. Huyar just gets jumped on. He can't use the thrusters to get away. And Dine does end up going down though to Dance somehow. Doha now reclaiming control of the high ground. They're only able to find 1 pick, but they actually traded it for one of their supports.
And with Undine being down, Dance gonna be in a little bit of trouble here.
Nano boost as well. Sound barrier isn't gonna be available. Only just now Unique's gonna be able to get it online as they do get grabbed. Undine did end up dying, so he's coming back from spawn. And now Takayaki going to have to take control, lays down the shatter, is going to be able to find at least one, but beautiful peel from Fuse, able to boop him away and secure the kill. Gen.G still fighting on this point. Element Mystic have claimed a tick, but numbers advantage for Gen.G now.
This is so messy for Element Mystic, and Fuse going to be taken out here. It's equally messy for both sides. Dance getting a pick onto Doha from long range. This may force a reset from Element Mystic. They know that they're going to have the numbers back a little bit sooner. Fuse, of course, can come back to a point incredibly quickly, and already point pressure being applied here by Element Mystic. They aren't going to be down, however, in terms of numbers.
I've got 2 people on the point. They do find the second tick as well. Big Bio Grenade onto Habin. Transcendence is going to get used to turn the fight into Element Mystic's favor, and Doha has earned himself yet another EMP. Is going to throw it into the back line, uses it, and 5 people, in fact, yet again. Is it going to hit? Dance using that nano boost on the sidelines. There's a nano brig, not something you want to really mess with, and Wakid finds 2 at the end. Element Mystic still struggling to find anything more on this point. This is the exact opposite of what we thought was actually going to happen. Gen.G defending, regardless of how many people Doha end up hitting with the EMP, they just cannot follow up with anything more than just a single kill.
And we talked about Wakid's DPS for us, but he's also one of the best Brigittes in Korea as well. I think he's definitely competing with maybe Shui for that sort of like title of the best Brigitte. And right now, Gen.G were looking so solid on the defense. Element Mystic, their shenanigans have left them with a time bank of only 46 seconds. They once again try to go for high ground, but Oberon, he's ready to meet them. Wuyol's up there as well. Going to be looking for an early hack here from Doha. Evidently, their main divo is lacking teeth without this diva.
Stalker's going to have a free grab as well. Like, he can just launch it in. He just needs to be able to get the follow-up.
Big
Primal
bio.
Edge is going to get used. Oh, boy.
See ya.
You ain't going to survive that. Takayaki gets sent into the drink. So does Havin. Gen.G still holding on. Now 20 seconds remain for Element Mystic.
Doha can be executed here.
Doha is going to go down. This might just be it. 15 seconds for someone to get back to the point, and Stalker still has grab, and he can grab them at the choke.
Sparkle's just died. He's not going to have energy. Element Mystic, the best they can hope for is Takayaki and 3 supports on point, but Gen.G is going to be more than ready, and Stalker can also lock them up as they come through.
3 people coming in. He gets booped off of the point. Did he manage to touch? Yes, he did, just to manage in time. But Takayaki gets grabbed off of the point. Someone's still managing to contest to reset OT, but that Graviton Surge might have just done it. Stalker and Wakid find a couple of kills that was required, and Gen.G managed to hold on first. 2 ticks, yes, they were gained, but that is nothing against the time bank that Gen.G are going to have onto this next push. It is winnable, yes, for Element Mystic, but it is a tall order.
Indeed, it is, Jaws. And like we said, Gen.G in this sort of like midway point, they have had to talk with their backroom staff to keep themselves in this mentality of not feeling too defeated. They definitely are feeling that right now, and it's really good for them that they can manage to come back into this series at such a great point. However, it's not a guaranteed draw. There was 83.8% that was gained here by Element Mystic, so it is technically winnable for them, even if it is going to be an absolute slog going through here. Are going to have that sort of like full hold mentality. Maybe they sort of vary up their comp to do that. Doha on the defense can gain control of that mega health pack. And here on the attack, I would have liked to have seen Doha get that mega health pack control, because we often saw Dance actually hanging around there. And when we saw that sort of desperation, Earth Shatter from Takoyaki sort of solo shattering onto Stalker when he had all that energy, there was a lot of sustain for the Lucio, Anna, and Xayah in that room because the health pack was not locked away from them. And Dineve gets the speed boost from Unique, which allows him to cross over here onto this higher ground. And it seems like the give and play here for Korea right now is going to be having this Anna. This long-range healing does mean that your Winston can stay in the fight for a long time, Jaws, because he's getting 75 healing per shot from his Bardic Rifle from a long distance as well. Booyah. Trying to get a little bit of a sneak on here. Maybe try and catch out a overzealous Doha, but he's not going to be so zealous this time. It's going to be a full-on swap-up for Gen.G. Not looking for the Sombra duel. Instead, going to be the classic 3-3, of course, with a Reinhardt and the Zenyatta. But Dance already taken out by Doha.
Okay.
He's got a very nice hitbox to try and take out from above.
Pretty slow as well. See, he's just hovering Zen.
Very telegraphed movement.
Yeah. You can only jump as the Zen to try and avoid some fire, but as soon as you do jump, you just kind of end up going in an arc, which is very predictable to hit scans. That's why jumping isn't necessarily the best thing in the world. Can kind of fake out your opponent some of the time, but if you kind of fall into a long arc, you will just get tracked down. That's why it's so easy to hit falling targets. Fuse ends up going down. Big bio grenade into the back line. Will keep doing not all too much. Had to back off, hold his own shield. Couldn't really do all of anything. And now Element Mystic will be able to just go for the reset. Nice charge being built up by Doha. Remember, this is winnable, Harry. A minute has elapsed, but one team fight from Gen.G could just end the map right here. So they might just go for this one fight wonder. Like, you just throw in the EMP, you mix it in with Takoyaki using the Primal Rage, and it could be all over.
Doha there getting his cheeks singed, gets the Discord open quickly, goes away. He almost has the EMP ready to go, but Takoyaki and Hanbin, they're going to be trying to facilitate these dives as they move straight on in.
Yeah, we're not seeing the Xayah this time around. It's actually going to be D.Va instead to try and eat one of those bio grenades. Normally, in this composition, you would have the Monkey or the Winston with the Xayah. You normally sub out the D.Va for the Sombra, but instead, they're deciding that they want to eat these bio grenades that's going to come in from Undine.
I'll have to see if that will be the case right here. Sparkle now playing with Brigade of Airs for EMP, 6 men.
That's it. It's done. 6-man EMP. That's all it takes.
All it takes.
And then Element Mystic can build up ults from here. Oberon does end up going down. Gen.G stabilizing just a little bit, but they're not going to be able to get much else. The rest of them are going to get cleaned up. Nice bio grenade to end it all as well. Like, no one's going to be able to escape from that. No healing to back off with. And now half the time bank has been elapsed, and Gen.G haven't got anything.
I'm actually very happy with the play Gen.G made there. They knew they weren't going to win that fight after a 6-man hand, but what they did is that they speed boost straight onto Takoyaki. They try and force him to use that Primal Rage. It wouldn't be available for the next fight where they really had a chance of being able to win it out. But Takoyaki there held his nerve, and Dine kept him held up really well.
Look at this early push. They do get, well, they do have Grav. Stalker could choose to use it. Self-destruct's going to get used. A perfect block from the Brigitte. Sparkle saving the rest of his team. Haben uses his own self-destruct, but gets taken down in the meantime by Stalker. They've now got so little ultimates to really work with. Gen.G are going to be able to push on to the point. Undine Unique doesn't have a chance to even use his sound barrier to save the rest of the squad. Doha uses the EMP, but it's all for nothing. And Element Mystic get cleaned off of the point. This was the one fight Gen.G needed. They're going to be able to find it as well. Doha changing onto the Tracer. There's going to be a ball for contest, but there's no way the Hammond's going to be able to survive. Gen.G end up claiming the map on first. Element Mystic were unable to pull the trigger at the end, regardless of Takoyaki not going down. There was nothing really more they could do. A nice block by Sparkle, you could see, to save Takoyaki from the self-destruct, but it was all for nothing at the end. Gen.G rolled it forwards, everybody pressed Q at the same time. Even with Doha finding the EMP, it wasn't enough. That map was over very quickly. See desperation at the end. I mean, it's going to find people you follow up at the end of the day. Gen.G biting back in the series with almost a full hold on point 1, and eventually getting 2 ticks in a little bit. They secure a map as we move into map number 4.
Everyone in Korea right now, they've got to watch for throne. Gen.G's dynasty may well have been threatened by with that match point. They are on the path of that reverse sweep right now.
Got to look for it, and they've got to find the next map before they do so. Element Mystic 1 map away, securing the series though. We'll have to find out who wins the next one after this break. Hey guys, welcome back. Element Mystic versus Gen.G. Gen.G finding their footing in this series after that map win on Voskaya. However, Element Mystic are still on their match point. So next map could decide it all, or we could go to a game 5.
You know, always on the cusp of losing that dynasty's crown right now. Gen.G, no option but victory here for them, but this does mean they have got that all-important match score that's starting to accrue here, and that could threaten Element Mystic looking for that bye, because of course, we look at next week, it's entirely possible that Gen.G could get that 4-0 against a weakened WGS Hum, and Element Mystic could be absolutely routed by Runaway. So
yeah.
we are in the present, but we're also looking to the future, because we're thinking who's going to get that bye in our playoff round, go straight into the semi-finals rather than have to duke it out in the quarterfinals, and we know Element Mystic, they aren't exactly the most consistent team when it comes to those playoff performances.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. That is going to be the telltale, I think, of Element Mystic if they can take the game off Runaway, although it looks almost impossible right now. But if they do win here today, could be a perfect situation for them to get that free bye, like you said. Gibraltar is going to be potentially the last map in the series. So we move on to that one now. And Gibraltar is a bit of a different one when it comes to the composition. It's 3-3, very prevalent, yes. However, more likely we're going to see something like a Winston coming out instead of the Rhine, as you want to make use of that high ground. Maybe even Ana as well. Ana's so safe on this map. You can hold right back on kind of the ledge, just above at the first point. Sombra also extremely good here as well. So many avenues in which you can flank around the enemy team, and a lot of key health packs that you can hack away as well.
Yeah, I wonder if we are going to see Alpha subbed back in here for Takayaki. It seems like his aggressive playstyle was much better at sort of catching Gen.G off guard compared to the slower style that we often see from Takayaki. But of course, you can bring in Takayaki thinking that, hey, we're going to play the Winston here, like we saw on the defense of Volskaya, and he will be in the roster. No surprises. But of course, Element Mystic, they do have that sort of like revolving door when it comes to their main tanks. Last week against O2 Blast,
yeah,
they had 2-2. Started off with Takayaki, 2 maps of Alpha, then brought Takayaki in again for Junkertown, I believe. Gen.G are going to be starting off here on the offense, it looks like, and they could try and leverage some of their particular skill sets.
How far is Wakid actually away from his PC, by the way? He must be like at least a couple of meters. Got the longest arms in the world, apparently. It's alright. Element Mystic on the defense, like you said. Gen.G on the offense. I mean, we can have a little look what Element Mystic want to run. Is it going to be the Winston, like we said? No Doha Sombra, though. Just going to run the Brigitte instead of that one.
Yeah, and like we pointed out in the last map, they were running Diva Winston combo, which is more like classic dive, but definitely not as much defense for Winston as you'd often expect with those projected barriers from Vizaya. Potentially, Takayaki wasn't too used to playing with that minimum of protection that was available to him. The swap up here could be Element Mystic sort of relenting and go, okay, we'll go for the classic 3-3 here. Already, they're trying for that sort of like the opening gambit, try and get an early pick, but will not work out for Gen.G. We'll just force Hanbin to use those thrusters to get away, and we'll reset up on the high ground once more.
You waste nothing there as well by doing that. Like, you perhaps waste a passive ult charge,
second
like
or
1% or something. Yeah, exactly. But if you find a pick, it's just so worth it. Looks like Fuse is trying to go for a little boop off, although he's just going to reconvene on the rest of his team now. Oberon's going to have a little bit of a disadvantage here. He's probably not going to gain too much ult charge at the start of the fight, because Takiyaki's going to have the range advantage with the Tesla cannon.
Will be an advantage for Stalker, though. Will not have to worry about being presented with a consistent shield. Takayaki ready to get that Tesla coil going already. The cart is stalled. Going to be a little bit of a question mark as to whether Gen.G want to rotate through high ground or if they want to just pressure cart. Pressure cart is the answer.
Perhaps waiting for that speed boost, which is all important to that 3-3, and getting the Reinhardt in position. I say he wasn't going to get much ult charge. He actually just takes out Doha, just sweeps him up, sweeps him under the rug. And Dine is going to go down as well. Already at 60% towards that Earth Shatter. Wow, Element Mystic just kind of fall over on this first point. Gen.G end up capping 5 minutes and 20 seconds. All right, okay. They're ready to rock and roll.
They chose to take the engagement a little bit late, and that did mean
that
the cart was always going to be completing. And Dine, I'm afraid this doesn't end well for you, my dude. You're going to have to go back to spawn and think about what you've done. Hanbin, luckily, does escape with his mech. This will provide a lot of healing ultimate charge over to his supports, as well as make sure he doesn't have to give up any of his own to get that mech back. So some fortune here for Element Mystic is going to be in their favor, but what's not going to be in their favor, Jaws, is the ultimate battle. Oberon almost ready with that Earth Shatter, and without a consistent shield in his way, he could definitely just lay this down on Undine easily.
Yeah, Dance is in a little bit of a troublesome situation. There's the Shatter. Gonna get it backed off just a little bit, but Oberon is gonna make sure everybody pays the price, just walking forward rather easily. There's nothing much you can do after that one. It's such a mobile comp as well. It's so frustrating when you do get pinned down like that. Like you mentioned before, no consistent shielding from Takayaki does mean that Shatter, as soon as that bubble comes out, like, okay, I can pretty much free Shadow whenever I want. He does just that.
Yeah, Takayaki is going to have a primal rage here to try and stall out should he wish to use it. Does get stunned, but will manage to survive.
Stalker's got the Graviton Surge online as well, and so early was that Transcendence used from Element Mystic. He's just burning Hubbin down from above here, just right-clicking the supports in the back line as well.
That's a lot of
damage. There's no one really
damage
that can touch him. Someone needs to be able to deal with him. Hubbin tries to push him off high ground, but Stalker just laying death from above. He uses the grab on the back line, but the grab's going to come out as well from Element Mystic. A self-destruct wasn't enough to finish off Gen.G, and Oberon just walks through Element Mystic as a team. Gen.G end up capping the second point almost in record time. 5 minutes in the time bank.
The sniper's nest there for Vizaya was just so destructive towards Element Mystic, and I've got to give credit as well to Stalker, who managed to get a little bit of a projected barrier onto Oberon, ensuring that Doha could not get a shield bash to facilitate a kill from that self-destruct. Just a little teamwork things, but really have been brushed up here for Gen.G. Stalker is going to be challenged out on high ground, but may not be able to stay there long. He is actually going to be able to stay up there for a second before retreating back to the cart. His team are ready to take the engagement here. Element Mystic, they need to move on to cart.
They're going to be able to at least touch for the time being. Element Mystic now backing off into this small room, or at least their supports are. Beat's going to come through to make sure they can surge on forward and continue fighting. But Beat is going to come out as well from the side of Gen.G. They're still going to be able to back off. This later Beat is just serving them so well. The Shadow hits the floor. Two people hit the ground. Sparkle gets focused out in amongst the Transcendents. He still ends up going down. And now Oberon can reconvene with the rest of his team onto this point. Takayaki has to play so defensively now.
4 minutes still on the clock, Jaws. The cart's still moving forward. Hanbin's been demexed, de-lifed as well. And right way, Element Mystic back to the drawing board. We want to take one final fight with all of their players, but one final fight with 4 minutes left. What's going on? Gen.G have all these ultimates too.
Yeah, and Stalker can use this gravity, does just that. Waki does get bio grenaded, but Takayaki ends up going down. A Transcendence now to signal the end of the fight. Sparkle ends up falling. There is nothing seemingly Element Mystic can do. Even Huyal just blocking the spawn entrances, making sure that they can't do all of anything. They get pushed off the payload. Ashada comes out once again from Oberon.
Oh, the knockoff!
Takoyaki gets the knockoff as well. Couple of meters, well, not even a couple, it's 0.8 of a meter does remain in their way. They're going to be able to stall out from additional time, but they're not finding any picks. Wakid even jumping onto the Doomfist to push everybody away off the payload. Doha ends up going down. They eventually push it, the 0.8 that was required. And what a push from Gen.G. They end up with such a massive time bank as well, and Element Mystic just look completely out of their depth.
They look outclassed right now by Gen.G. It's hard to believe that we went into the half, basically, with Element Mystic having had a speed run on the first two map straws. They went 2-0 on the pool, and it was a full hold on Blizzard World as well. But right now, they're looking just so broken before the aggression of Gen.G. And I imagine what we may see is potentially some sort of gambit composition from Element Mystic. I don't know if they think they're going to be able to continue with this 3-3 versus 3-3 dominance with how they currently are playing. Right now, Takoyaki spending way too much time on that Winston, not getting a huge amount of value whatsoever. And right now, Sparkle versus Stalker. Stalker definitely winning.
Well, now they have to go on the offense. I mean, what are they going to really roll out here? I think Takoyaki staying on the Winston I don't think is the bad idea, but like, it's not the worst choice in the world. But Element Mystic kind of getting rolled over, especially first point. You're looking at a situation where Gen.G can just they can just stall out here. They don't really need to do anything. They can use this high ground to such good advantage as they did before. As long as Takoyaki is kept in check, Oberon has just had his number this entire time.
And Stalker was able to build up so much momentum as a Zarya there because Takoyaki as this Winston didn't have consistent shielding. That means that Stalker was able to build up a huge amount of ultimate charge off the bodies of both Takoyaki and Hanbin, whereas Stalker was quite safe himself and Wooyok could hide behind the shield that Oberon was proffering, meaning that there was less ultimate charge to be had for Sparkle. And when you're generating those gravitons much more quickly, you can very much control the pace of this. Look, Sparkle's already off the high ground. That's going to mean this dive has no teeth at all.
Yeah, Dance is going to go down as well so early on. Now they're just pushing him into this small corridor. Element Mystic, at least trade 1 for 1, as Unique ends up going down as well. But all in the time back of Element Mystic, and Gen.G stalling out here for as long as they can is more optimal for them. Oberon left himself in a bit of a worse situation there. Actually jumped onto the payload, got away only slightly, got killed mid-jump.
Credit to Takoyaki's dives there for being able to kill Dance. I said the dive wouldn't have much teeth at all because Sparkle was knocked off, but apparently Takoyaki will just land what he wants to. Himself and Oberon have been cleaving kind of equally right now, both almost 3/4 of the way towards that primal rage, and looks like we're going to see Undine trying to build up towards that Transcendence. He's almost there, building up those shots, and now he has commanding control of the high ground.
Takoyaki's got control of the high ground as well. He's got that primal rage on board. Uh-oh, he's going to use it as well. This is going to be a big problem. They're going to get pushed back all the way towards these doors. He's actually going to push people through the doors as well, but Dance ends up taking him down. That Discord doing so much work, but Oberon ends up getting a nice kill as Habit ends up going down as well. Did throw out the didn't even throw self-destruct, sorry. He was just caught off in the sidelines, got demeched, and instantly got killed off. Not really much you can do after that one. Gen.G aren't going to be able to hold for much longer, as Element Mystic are going to be able to reconvene rather quickly. 2 minutes left in the time bank, though.
And notice a difference in defenses as well. We saw Gen.G actually surviving, well, they have a lot longer on this point, so actually went for 2 fights in a row, rather than Element Mystic who decided to only take the 1 and lost it so quickly. Already it's looking like Gen.G may have a stronger time bank, even if Element Mystic do roll from here onwards. Going to be an exchange across the high ground, and a leap in from Takoyaki. It's going to be Sparkle trying to follow up, almost has that Graviton Surge.
But he does. He's a couple of percentage points away. There you go. 99% ticking over. Throws out the grab. Everybody getting caught up. Problem is that self-destruct isn't going to get blocked just yet. Both the Beat and Transcendence have been used. One on either side. And Oberon ends up going down. Element Mystic finally taking control. They end up securing the point and the team fight. 4 minutes now in the bank. Element Mystic, that's all that they needed apparently. Just that beat from Unique to save the rest of the team. Takoyaki was also in Primal Rage. So there's no way he was going down over just at all, to be honest. 3 minutes now as they wander through Warehouse.
He swaps over now on to the Reinhardt. Jaws Takiaki wants to stay with Winston. Almost has that Primal Rage, so why not? You can cleave and open that incredibly quickly and have a lot of displacing potential. That much is for certain. Fuse could answer it with a sound barrier, but straight away onto the cart here are Gen.G.
Yeah, Dance is going to go down so early as well. Stalker doesn't receive that beat either, and Takiaki just isolating Wakid. You can see him pushing back all the way to his spawn, just taking him out of the fight. No armor packs to bear, and Oberon ends up going down. And now Takiaki can just plant himself on the point. He's bought enough space and bought enough time for the rest of Element Mystic just to chunk down the rest of Gen.G.
There's going to be potential here, though, for Gen.G to get another contest before the end of point B. They are still draining away this time bank, Jaws, despite what may be happening in terms of fight wins. Takiaki's going to try and lock down these entrances, of course, wants to get a lot of that extra ult charge. It's going to be another rotation through from Gen.G. They've got a lot of ultimates to work with here. Sparkle going to try and come in from the top. That's another Graviton Surge and a lot of cleave into it as well.
Oh dear, they end up trading at least the Stalker for Sparkle, but a Unique end up going down as well. This is bad news for Element Mystic. Now Oberon pushing forwards. They're only a couple of meters away from actually delivering this payload, but Gen.G able to hold for the time being.
And they are. Stalker there. Good Graviton Surge and good cleanup as well from Gen.G, but that was far from a free fight, Jaws. It was incredibly expensive. Potentially 4 ultimates used there. Wu Yao's almost ready to go halfway to another self-destructive course, but Element Mystic, they've lost a huge amount of their playmaking potential as well. That Graviton Surge now gone. The self-destruct now gone. They do have a lot of sustain here, however.
Takiaki's going pretty low right now. He's on his high ground, leveraging it fairly well as well. Fuse is able to put up so much. Dance is going to use that Transcendence fairly early on, and Dina is actually going to match it. The Shadow is going to hit the floor, but Takiaki can't get taken out. He's in Primal Rage. You can't kill him right now, but at least they kill one. A ping kill onto the Brig does end Doha's life, and Element Mystic are going to want to go again. But their time back right now, 1 minute and 30, not too healthy. Gen.G kind of smiling and laughing all the way to the bank at this point.
Time stops for no man and no Mystic either, Jaws. 1 minute, 27 seconds remain. And now it's going to be Takiaki looking for a little bit of early poke, but you can't afford to take that poke. You're just giving away so much ultimate charge. You may give a little bit over to Ndine, but it's not worth what you've given to Wu Yao. The self-destruct is ready to go. That can zone everyone away from the cart. Takiaki makes a deep dive.
Deep dive, got the bubble as well to survive for the time being. Leaps back onto the payload. And Habin has got that self-destruct. They haven't got Graviton Surge to mix with it. Stalker a little bit further away as well, but Takiaki ends up going down. He's just being so aggressive, and he's just getting punished every step of the way. And now Element Mystic, they don't want to fight without the Winston. Takiaki falling does mean actually a switch over to the Reinhardt instead to match Oberon, but Oberon now has ult advantage and ult superiority as well. He's only a few percentage points away.
Wu Yao's been so good at just tracking down this Winston, using those fusion cannons to take him down so quickly. So Takiaki's forced to move over now onto the Reinhardt. Wants to have that consistent shielding available so that Sparkle can survive a little bit longer, put himself in an optimal position to lay down this Graviton Surge. It's the main playmaking ultimate, and the play needs to be made because 28 seconds remain, and they are almost out of time, Jaws, on second point.
Yeah, but look, Stalker, he's got the grab, can launch it in when he pleases. Got to watch out for the defense matrix, though. It's the win condition for Gen.G now. Launch a grab in and get a couple of picks. Graviton Surge, however, is thrown out by Element Mystic. A self-destruct as well is going to land on top. Nothing and no one goes down. A double layering of support from Element Mystic, though. In fact, a triple layering as the rally comes out as well. They're going to be so hardy on this Shadow, but they're all going to get taken out regardless. Dance doing so much damage. Element Mystic's time bank now whittling away, and Gen.G forced them off the payload, and we're going to go to a map 5.
Gen.G right now, they've really seemed to have downloaded the critical information when it comes to figuring out Element Mystic. And Oberon, the second he saw a triple layering of support, ultimately was like, okay, so Trance is gone, and Sambar is gone. I guess I shatter, and I guess I win. A good amount of cleanup there from Gen.G as well. Some great defensive play from both teams to make sure that both of those combinations didn't actually claim any lives, but they were worrying too much about those threats, weren't ready for the crouching Reinhardt of Oberon.
They have downloaded everything they need, apparently. Maybe sub Alpha back in. It's twice in a row now that Takiaki has come back into the fight, into the game, and have lost the map. Maybe you just sub Alpha back in. Takiaki is going fairly deep on these engages and getting punished for it. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. Do not go anywhere, guys. Map number 5, sorry, and the Decider coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Element Mystic versus Gen.G. We're about to jump onto map 5. Is Gen.G looking for the complete reverse sweep?
We thought this was going to be a very close match, and going into halftime didn't look like it was going to be. Though now, look at that. Basically, Gen.G ready to come in with this reverse sweep. They're doing their best Boston cosplay right now. Hopefully, Lijiang Tower will be close, of course. Our first control map, Nepal, went 2-0 for way of Element Mystic, and there were some interesting strategies coming out from our Gen.G side, including an Eraser Bastion on Sanctum. Maybe we will see some similarly wacky strategies coming out on Garden, which is often the host to many DPS things, such as a Pharah or a Widowmaker or an Ashe here and there. But both of our teams, I imagine, could actually just roll out and profit the 3-3. If that's going to be the case, I imagine we will see Alpha back in the lineup.
Yeah, I wonder. He was in for Nepal and for Blizzard World, mind you. And Takeaki got subbed in for Voskar and Watchpoint. Go all so well. Lijiang Tower, like you said, a bit of a strange map some of the time. I mean, control in itself is random in the sense that it can be whatever the 3 maps. Oh, it can be first, whatever the 3 maps that are available, which is not really a sentence, but you know, it can be either Gardens, Night Market, or
you can lose the draw when it comes to the RNG of which stages come out, depending on what's better suited to your skill set.
It's still early. I say that it's 2:30 PM.
This is early for esports.
Yeah, that is true.
This is esport early.
Esports early, exactly. I've been up late, to be fair, watching L.
Yeah,
I'm rather tough some of the time. It's a hard life, Harry. Hard life. You have to stay up rather late. It's not like I wouldn't be doing that anyway. So, you know, it's what it is. Hello, Mystic and Gen.G, about to roll out the gates. I was rather simple. It's going to be 3-2-1 with the Sombra of Element Mystic. And Gen.G just going for the old, same old, same old. Do have Alpha back in the lineup, though, so Takeaki.
That is going to be the case. We'll have to see what Doha wants to do first. May try and go for an early hack here. You can see that he's positioned himself on the point. May decide to try and get a hack early onto the Reinhardt or the Brigitte. Right now, though, it's going to be Gen.G want to take the aggression into their own hands. They want to make sure that Doha doesn't have the time to set up here.
Yeah, they know there's distinct lack of HP for Element Mystic, so they can't just kind of walk into them as they have their D.Va as well to mitigate so much damage. And mitigate so much ult charge from Doha as well. Nice little boop from Fuse. Doesn't manage to find anything just yet, but forces Element Mystic to back off. Point is in contestation though. Gen.G half the way there to actually capping it, however. So Element Mystic are on the back foot at this point. They're going to get charged into that mini health pack room as well. Yeah, health pack has been hacked, but you got to be careful. Oberon's just swinging away. Alpha does manage to take him out, but not before the rest of Gen.G are able to just take out the rest of his team. Gen.G are going to be able to claim the point and start building that percent.
I love how Gen.G is trying to sort of mix up their play here. They know that Doha really wants to get one of those manual hacks to begin their sort of like attack for Element Mystic. We want to try and find one member of Gen.G who doesn't have any abilities and who's in a very vulnerable position. So they don't allow Doha to have the time to do that. Instead, they just run straight in and they get a huge amount of damage straight away, meaning that Doha can be a non-factor in the fight. He's only doing a little bit of SMG damage in the back. Almost has some EMP ready to go.
He's good. He's okay for the time being. He's going to amp it up as the Graviton Surge is going to come out. Transcendence as well, coming through. The self-destruct really didn't do all too much, but Fuse managed to find a double boop. Let's go. Okay, Gen.G coming alive on control. Didn't manage to take any of the maps beforehand, remember. Gen.G now up to 50%. They got a sound barrier. They got the rally. Transcendence no way near. They did invest a lot into that fight as well, though.
And they did. We'll have to see if Element Mystic will be able to do anything as they come back now. They've got 3 playmaking ultimates available in the Sound Barrier, the Graviton Surge, and the Earth Shatter. Right now, Oberon's going to have to play a lot more passively than Alpha. He is going to have to worry about trying to make sure his team aren't going to be victims of that shockwave as it comes through. That can be absolutely fate-sealing for a defensive team, and Fuse is going to have to try and answer that with a Sound Barrier maybe, but he's been hacked, won't be able to use it.
Graviton Surge is going to come out, yeah. There's no way you're going to survive that, unfortunately, Sparkle. And Dinny is going to go down as well. Gen.G now continuing to hold the point. Alpha going for a quick reset. They got 10% only to gain. Huyao does fall, but I'm not sure it's actually going to matter. Gen.G are just going to be able to force Doha to use his Translocator. He's a couple of percentage away from actually gaining an EMP. Someone's going to be able to touch it. It's going to be the Lucio for the time being.
Right now, it looks so dominant for Gen.G. Doha's going to come in an
out,
EMP.
Though. That's going to be a lot of people now hacked. Oberon's going to get focused down, but he still managed to survive for at least a couple more seconds. Wikida's also going to fall. Element Mystic might just be able to find the cap here in OT, but it's now one fight territory for Gen.G. to put themselves in a dominant position.
Good follow-up there. Never underestimate the prowess of the Desperate. But right now, it's not looking great for Element Mystic. Gen.G, they need to win one fight, Jaws. And of course, when you have this 3-3 composition, you can just wait, build up 6 ultimates, and steamroll an enemy team. Especially if they don't have any chance of mitigating your main win condition, which is the Graviton Surge, because they can't eat that up. They've got a Sombra instead of a Diva.
Stalker's got the grab, he's marching forwards. Shadow available as well to Gen.G. Transcendence also. Taking stock with the ultimates is important. They know Element Mystic did invest a lot. They throw it out and instantly kill Doha. Oh my goodness, he got eviscerated. And Diney's going to be able to keep the rest of the team alive for the time being. Oberon throws that shatter into the netherworld as Gen.G still moving forward. Nice little boop by Waki. Doesn't do all of anything, but they still gain control of the point. Now it's up to Element Mystic to try and recontest a Transcendence to save their lives for the time being. Where Sparkle is so high charge. Right-clicking into the grab helps Hubin take out Wakid, and Stalker's going to go down as well. Element Mystic fighting back. They may have lost the point for the time being, but they're still going to be able to recap.
The disengage there, though, did cost them this percentage of the capture, Jaws. This does mean that they are going to have to win yet another fight against Gen.G. Doha there trying to get his Translocator up on the high ground. Looks like it is finally going to land there. Didn't get quite the bounce he wanted beforehand. He's ready to set up the next fight. The next fight could be a throwaway for Gen.G. They know that having got the cap in a previous fight, they've got plenty of time to play with. Doha for EMP can shut down all abilities as they come. Fuse is going to try and maybe not get caught by this, but he could just allow his team to die.
Oh, EMP in the back. Everybody hacked. Oh, Dance not, but the rest of his team just kind of wandering around with no abilities left. 68% building up to 70 now for Element Mystic. This is what they like to do, Harry. Just throw in the EMP, win the fight off the back of it, and then hopefully win the next fight with the tank ults they were able to build up in the last. Sparkle has grab. We got Alpha. 40% towards the Shadow, but won't take too long to build it up. Win condition for Gen.G right now. Hit a fattest shatter you've ever hit. And then hopefully win the round.
Yeah, Sparkle going to be scouting out a little bit here. Doesn't want to isolate himself, though. Doha's in the back trying to build up with that SMG. Can do a lot of damage here. Wuyo's already half health. He's been given a repair pack. That's not going to be available for Oberon. And that's going to be an eat, though.
Uh-oh, Wuyo taking it back. Transcendence is going to get committed here by Element Mystic. It's now an OT for both teams if they manage to cap. Late Transcendence for Gen.G as well. They've got the healing advantage, but the beat is going to come out from Element Mystic. Alpha lays down the Shadow, and it's a huge one. Oberon is going to get pinned against the wall. Overshield's now disappearing for Gen.G as the beat came out from Fuse just a moment too late. A Graviton Surge gets launched from downtown by Stalker, but is it going to be enough? It might just be, as Wuyo takes down Alpha. Gen.G biting back. Element Mystic now forcing themselves onto the point for contest more OT, but it is the staggering of members now trying to touch. I don't think they're going to have it. Doha 10% towards an EMP, but it's not going to be there. OT disappeared in front of Element Mystic's eyes, and Gen.G managed to claim the first map.
And the key there, Jaws, is how well they shut down Doha. They managed him so well during the middle of that brawl. How does this even happen? You're concentrating on so many fronts at once. And when you are in those massive brawls, that's when you see Sombras get EMP so fast. They're just free to blink away with the SMG. They can just ram it up the behind of any of the enemies. They could just shove it into the back of a Diva mech, but Doha was getting so little ultimate charge there. He managed to gain about 60%, but in such a short amount of time, or rather a long amount of time, that it wasn't really a factor in the fight, and if he were able to do more, that would have definitely been a fight in Element Mystic's favor.
Now we're doing on Control Center. Sticking with the same compositions. Gen.G one map away, Harry. Are finding that reverse sweep and putting themselves in that buy position for the playoffs. Looking pretty good right now. At the Mystic, however, they can still fight back on Control Center.
Wheels already found Doha, takes him out of stealth, and that means the aggression is going to be on the main core of Element Mystic straight away.
Look at all the damage they're taking, though. Oberon just swinging on in, and look at that ultimate disparity already. They've got 45% of a shatter. Alpha's only got 10. Like, this is how aggressive Gen.G know they can be when Doha is off in the sideline.
Doha's playing every angle of momentum, but Doubts wants to try and control the high ground right here. He's going to drop down to try and support his tank, but Oberon may be in trouble.
He's okay for the time. He actually got boot back in to the rest of his team. Now he's in a little bit of a worse for wear. All the healing is going to have to come out rather soon. Doha laying down the EMP, finds 6 people of Gen.G. Easy cleanup now. This is why he seems one of the best Sombras in the world. Not only can he find so many people, but his rate that he builds them up, was able to build it up before Wakid even got that rally. or in about around the same time, there's no way you can kind of predict that going on. When you're playing against Doha, you've got to think that every single fight he's going to have an EMP.
Wikido here has such an advantage over Hanbin in terms of a rally. That's such a big engagement tool. He's going to be able to chase out Doha here. He's going to have to use the translocate to stop himself from falling off the edge of Lijiang Tower. It's a long way down, Jaws. Right now, Element Mystic, about 20%. Gen.G did get the initial cap, so we have denied some of that percentage, as well as gained some of their own double support ultimates. Will keep them in the next fight. Wikide's already hacked.
That Shadow goes a little bit wide. It's going to go straight into the shield of Sparkle. Graviton Surge down by Sparkle as well. 2 people, 3 people, 4 people now as Dance does join them with that Transcendence. However, they've used both their support ultimates. Another EMP comes through. All the abilities have been stripped away. Doha retreating up the high ground. Oberon was in the front line. He had no shield to bear. Couldn't use the S key really as the rest of Element Mystic were able to speed on top of Gen.G. Still holding the point. They got 50% to Gen.G's 15.
Hanbin didn't want to test Dance right there. He was faced with Stalker, and Dance was like, you know what, I'll do without this right now. A little bit of armor is remaining for Element Mystic, but of course, with the new Brigades, that will start to dissipate after just 30 seconds. And Element Mystic, they invested heavily in that last fight. They're going to be relying on a big shadow from Alpha in the coming one. Maybe a manual hack from Doha onto Oberon could set that up incredibly well and allow for one of these Earth Shadows. You can see Doha going for a hack right now, but it is onto Stalker instead.
Alpha's setting up as well. There's the Shadow. It stops to
Oh,
make
why?
progress, but no! Wiki manages to get the Shield Slam, ending Alpha's life as he was sent to the ground as the self-destruct did go off. Gen.G have found the opening that they needed, but Element Mystic have set such a good time bank for themselves, or percentage bank, I should say. 86 now, as Gen.G end up getting the flip.
Oh, I don't even know if the Shield Bash mattered, Jaws. For some reason, Alpha just decided, okay, I have now Earth Shattered the Steven mech. It now will not move towards me. It's time to charge it away from my team. And in doing so, make sure I have no way to shield it whatsoever, unless potentially he got a projected barrier from Sparkle, but that was not the play right there. Oberon now can take control of a Rhyme battle.
There's the grab straight onto Oberon. Solo grab for the time being, but Transcendence used a little bit later on, so they're going to have for this the upcoming fight for the time. EMP comes through, but Dance was still in that trance. Not the best EMP in the world. Oberon gets pinned and taken away from the rest of his team. He's going to go back in with a pin and actually fights Doha. Gen.G still managed to win out that fight regardless of Doha setting up that EMP. It was so early, Harry. Dance was still in transcending form, so he didn't get hacked and he was still providing healing.
Yeah, some great play around the geometry there from Gen.G as well. Only Wikide got hacked by the EMP. That is terrible value, especially for Doha, who usually gets a little bit more than this. Element Mystic, they're almost all out of ultimates. They're all out of offensive capabilities. They're going to have to try and do it with just for Sound Barrier here, but Stalker's almost got yet another Graviton Surge, and already the charge in.
Charging onto Alpha. The beat's going to come through from both sides. Shields dissipating as haven't actually using that rally. Same with Wikide. There's the grab. There's the shatter. Alpha not finding much, but all the damage is heading Alpha's way now as he gets grabbed himself. Stalker finds 2, 3 kills. Gen.G 15% away now, finding the reverse sweep. Element Mystic need to be able to touch the point.
They got to win this next fight, Jaws, and look, they've barely got anything to do it with. They may be able to get that Transcendence, but not before the next fight is engaged. It's going to have to be Sparkle who moves forward, potentially tries to touch on that point, and Stalker's already dealing a lot of damage.
Doha's already down. OT now ticking through 1 by 1. Element Mystic needs to get focused down. A Transcendence from Undine to try and make sure they survive, but Dance has got one of his own in his back pockets. Alpha trying to do something, trying to buy space for the rest of his team. Manages to block the shadow as the Graviton Surge comes in. Stalker hasn't got anywhere near his, and Alpha finds the Flame Strike on Wikide. Now, Element Mystic are fighting back. They end up trading 1 for 1 as Alpha ends up going down as well. Doha's got the EMP and unleashes it on Oberon and Huyal. They end up trading once again, but have they got the firepower necessary? They're still stalling this out as they end up finding the flip. Element Mystic, that's not out of this fight just yet. Doha is still alive, dropping from the rafters to try and find some additional time on point. And Alpha, he ends up coming back, finds 2 people with the Flame Strike. A Graviton Surge from Stalker goes also wide. And now Gen.G are going to have to reclaim position on point. Wiki finds 2. Element Mystic, they're getting pushed off the point. Gen.G have managed to find the flip.
Wikide's done it again, overtime still ticking away. In comes Stalker on the Tracer, Jaws.
Oh, Transcendence from Dance just to save his main tank in the meantime. It's flashbacks to Sanctum all over again. This fight lasting longer than the round is actually taking place. Fused and Oberon are dead, and a self-destruct in the air ends up finding 2. Huyal finds a double kill. Element Mystic holding on for dear life now. Doha ends up going down 5% towards that EMP, but Alpha's got the shatter. He's setting up for it, but can he find anybody with it?
It's all in now. Doesn't want to get shield bashed while that's being done. Oh, with the incoming pulse bomb.
Oh my goodness, how is this fight still going on? Alpha is going to
down.
get sent to the ground. Stalker finding 2 people, but an EMP from Doha lands on 5 people, but the beat to save them just in time. Gen.G find the second map on Nepal, on Oasis. I don't know what map it is now.
It's on Tower Jaws.
Regardless, they find the reverse sweep against Element Mystic with some clutch plays from Stalker at the end. Found the post-bomb kill onto Alpha, and then the big shatter from Oberon to end the map and end the series.
What in the world have we just witnessed? Gen.G, what a reverse sweep. What a rallying. What happened in the Gen.G team house at halftime? Do they all just, like, turn on the monitors?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe we should play with screens, guys.
Alpha came back as well, and he got a 2-man flame strike, which was like, okay, this fight's now not over again. Doha died 5% towards an EMP, came back in, used it, but a perfectly timed beat from Gen.G did end up winning them the fight, as well as that big shadow from Oberon. Sub and Alpha back in apparently wasn't the secret sauce that they needed. A 2-map victory there as well. It wasn't clean by any means, but a complete turnaround from Gen.G. The flip on the head. And both teams today came into the series 3-2. Now Gen.G are 4-2. They are sitting in a position where they can clinch a bye going into playoffs. And you got to remember, and we spoke about it at the start of the series, that who they have to face next week. Gen.G have to face WGS, who was look fairly weakened with their new roster shuffle. And who do Element Mystic have to face? They have to face Runaway, who are